because Shireen was after more than just a fulfilling career in education.
That's even her real name. Let's go find out. So, let's talk. Who are you really, Shireen? What are you doing here? Let us help you. Tell us who you are.
I can't tell you. I've had to keep my true self secret for many years. In the land of untold stories, Hyde, he could use this against me.
Hyde's dead.
Really?
Yeah, he's gone. You don't have to be afraid of him.
I'm Princess Jasmine of Agrabah. And I swear to you, I am innocent of this crime.
I believe you.
Really?
I have kind of a superpower.
So if it wasn't you, who was it?
I have no idea. That girl, she was my friend. She was helping me find a man who I cared about a long, long time ago.
Aladdin?
You know him?
No, I just saw the movie. It's a this world thing, but where is he?
I wish I knew. He was quite special. He was the savior.
What?
What?
Wow. So I'm thinking Street Rats is going to be one of the best episodes of season 6 so far. And we've gotten some pretty good episodes, but I really am looking forward to Street Rats. Not only because I'm a huge fan of Disney's Aladdin, but I really feel that we have a live-action version of Princess Jasmine. And in my trailer review for this episode, I said that Disney should really consider just pulling Karen David off of Once Upon a Time and making her Princess Jasmine in the live-action Aladdin film, because I really feel Jasmine emulating from Karen David, and that's a huge plus. They got Merida so right with Abe Manson, they got Elsa so right with Georgina Hegg, they got Anna so right with Elizabeth Lail. They really didn't get Hercules right, but Jasmine totally nailed, and I love it. So a lot actually went down in this sneak peek, and I have a couple things to say about visuals for the next sneak peek, but what went down here was more so plot. So apparently the blonde Oracle went poof, or she died. Something happened to her, and then Jasmine gets accused of the crime. Now, that's not really a mystery that's enticing, because we're clearly going to see that happen, in the scene or two before this one takes place. So that's fine. But I guess that does debunk the couple of you who were saying that the Oracle could be Jafar in disguise. So that's good. At least we now know that Jafar is, at the moment, not in Storybrooke, or at least not in Storybrooke in the disguise as the Oracle. Unless the Oracle faked her own death and truly was Jafar and then just dissolved, kind of like Selena did back in season 3. But for now, I'm just going to assume that the Oracle was not Jafar and that somehow she died. How she died, we don't know, but again, we'll be seeing that play out very, very soon. So Jasmine revealed her identity to the group, and I loved Emma's reaction more than anyone else, because she referenced the animated Aladdin movie from 1992, which was so funny. I loved back in season 3 when Neil met Mulan and he referenced Mulan. I love when Once Upon a Time can be so self-referential. I think that's a very strong aspect the show can have. In fact, I think if they want to up their humor, they should do that even more, especially since I'm not sure specifically what year the show's in right now, but if they're in 2014, they could find out about Frozen if they just do a quick Wikipedia search, and I would love to see somehow then be like, wait, Elsa was in a movie and this really happened? Like, what's going on? Like, what's the connection between these movies and the world? Are the books the new author? That could be a whole other story that I don't think we want to get into. Maybe a side series or a comic book. Actually, I think that could be a fantastic comic book. Somehow the movies have the magic of the author's pen. So anyway, Emma made a great reference to Aladdin, and I really enjoyed that. And in fact, I should say, she didn't really have the time to make it with Ariel, but she could have made it with Belle many times. Beauty and the Beast came out the year before Aladdin, and I'm actually really curious as to why the show didn't do that, but I guess because Belle's the main character, it really wouldn't make a lot of sense to, talk to the show's Belle and say, oh, are you going to sing right now? Because in the show you'd like to break out into song, when you can. So anyway, I really enjoyed that reference, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that as well. But I think the biggest reference here is, actually, there's two really big points that came out of this sneak peek, and I'm really looking forward to seeing one of them completely play out, and one of them possibly play out if the show decides to go in that route. So we'll talk about the possible one. The possible one is Mr. Hyde and Jasmine have a history. Now, if the show wants to bring in Sam Witwer or if the show wants to get Sam Witwer back, which I really think they should consider because Sam Witwer was so good as Hyde. He's one of my favorite characters on the show, or I guess was. It's very unfortunate that he's gone. But I have to say, I would love to see the interactions of Jasmine and Hyde. Jasmine's story at the moment is essentially untold. We know the story of Aladdin, and I actually have a couple of things to talk about of the story of Aladdin, the way Once Upon a Time's adapting it, but I'll get into that in the second sneak peek review. But Jasmine's backstory with Hyde, I think, could be very, very interesting to see, and I really hope that the show allows us to see Jasmine's time in the Land of Untold Stories and how she dealt with Hyde, because I guess Hyde, knowing her name, is very bad. So I'm really curious, what Hyde did to her and how she dealt with Hyde, even if it was just a scene. I think that would be a very, very cool thing to do. So Jasmine has a history with Hyde, and I really hope the show doesn't ignore that. They essentially forgot about Lily. I think they said it might get wrapped up this season, though I'm not 100% sure. But I really hope they don't forget this point, especially since Hyde just died, and you can easily get Hyde back in for a quick flashback if the show decides to focus more on Aladdin and Jasmine, which I really think it should, because I really feel like I'm seeing Aladdin and Jasmine here. So the last point to discuss is, Emma said, you're looking for Aladdin. And Jasmine goes, yes. And then she, tells Emma that Aladdin was the savior. Now that was a great reaction by Emma. I loved it. And now Aladdin is most likely the savior of Agrabah, and Emma is the savior of Storybrooke. Now Emma hasn't dealt with another savior. She's dealt with, the evil Queen Regina. She's dealt with Elsa, the Ice Queen of Arendelle. Both rulers. But no one has a title as, I guess I should say, as powerful as a savior. Because if you're a savior, your job is to save people, to bring back the happy endings. That's Emma's job. We don't know specifically what Aladdin's job as savior is yet. But I'm really curious to see how Emma and Aladdin will play out. And apparently Aladdin is in Storybrooke, at least according to the trailer for this episode. So I'm really curious to see, A, how they're going to find him, and B, what's going to happen with them together. I think that'll be really fun. And especially if Emma decides to reference the movie Aladdin to him, I think that'll also just or add some great comedic effect to the show, but it won't take away from the impact the two are going to have. We've never had a savior. We've had an Ice Queen savior, we've had an evil Queen savior, we've had Wicked Witch savior, but never savior, and I think this will be really fun to see. Now, we don't know if Aladdin's sick, because in the season 6 premiere he was very sick, but we don't know if he's recovered, etc., etc. So I think there's a lot that could happen with him, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it play out, and I really like it. Also, I'm really curious if Aladdin has magic. Emma has magic, but she's the product of true love, which gave her that magic, and Rumpel manipulating the curse, etc. She has access to magic. So does Aladdin have magic? Is Aladdin a product of true love? Are we going to see, I believe his father's name was Kasim from the King of Thieves movie. So will they bring in that? Are we going to see more of Aladdin? There's so much they could do. The Aladdin's mythos is so vast. And it's so vast because it had over 80, I think it's 88 or 86, but it had so many episodes of the TV show. It has 2 sequels, and Jasmine even has a side story. So there's so much they could do with Aladdin if Aladdin decides to be essentially the new Frozen of the show, which I really think it should be. I think Brave didn't work out too well, in my opinion, because I felt that it cast a shadow over the Camelot characters. It just should have been Brave or Camelot. Frozen, I think, was perfect, but I think Aladdin has a lot of potential to really get revamped and to be very exciting, and I think Once Upon a Time has it nailed so well. So we'll talk about Denzel Denzi and Oded Fair in the next video, and Agrabah and whatnot, but I think we have a great sneak peek, a great mystery to look forward to in this episode and overall for the rest of the season, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everyone's interactions, and I just love Karen David as Princess Jasmine. She's so perfect. So anyway, share your thoughts about the sneak peek in the comments below. I will get a second review up of the second sneak peek, or I will get a review up of the next sneak peek very soon, and we'll discuss that there. So just, kind of focus in on the content here, and then we'll talk about Aladdin and whatnot, what's going on in Agrabah in that sneak peek. So, the marketing of ABC was very off, and I don't like that, but again, we have so much to discuss, so if you don't want to confuse issues, let's just keep, Aladdin's mystery of Storybrooke here, the consequences of Savior in this video. All right, so thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.